Music to me is a very powerful art that I think can change a lot of lives in a lot of aspects. Can make people feel things, understand things, and ultimately, I think to me personally, it's something that saved me. Coming up in some of the situations that I grew up in, or some of the situations I found myself in my young adolescence, I think for me personally, music was such a big part of my life that helped me not only think more about what I wanted to do within my life, but also helped me sort of focus on being a better person and sort of catering more to the community's needs. Well, I think ultimately they say, don't they? You know, the music industry is one of the hardest industries you can get into. There is a lot of risk. You know, myself, I run events. You know, with the district, I'm an artist myself, and there's a lot of risks across the board. You know, people may not come to your events. People may not like the styles of music, or you may lose money, or you know, there's a lot of things in terms to risk that you sort of have to think about within running the business and pursuing it professionally. So me, it's always been something that I wanted to do. It's always something that I've always been a part of from my young age, working with Audio Active and working with other organisations like that. And so for me, it was always a natural step to try and pursue that sort of professional sort of standpoint with it. You know, it was always the end goal. You know, there's always going to be risks in anything that you do, but ultimately, if you don't take upon those risks, you're never really going to find out whether you are going to make it or you're not going to make it. I definitely say my team. Working on the district, we've got an 8-man team now, well, 8-man and woman team, who are absolutely brilliant, who support me in many different ways, from mental, physical, and also within terms of building the business and making it more adverse or making it more applicable to a wider range of people, achieving more projects, achieving more goals, working with newer people, newer collaborations and things like that. And so again, I just have to say, with the help of my team, really, you know, it's all about community. It's all about the sort of working together. You know, one stick snaps on its own quite easily, but a bunch of sticks won't snap that easily. And so ultimately, I think what I'm trying to say with that is, with the power of many, more can be achieved, rather than one person out there trying to smash it all and being all this and being all that. It actually takes a team of people, and I think that's fundamentally most important to me. So to answer this, I think I'm going to split it up into two. I think for myself personally, within the music industry and what I'm doing, I'd love to have my own venue where I can sort of function my own sort of events and build up my own demographic, working within the community, with the community. I think that's fundamentally quite important for me. But I think as a whole, for the community and some of the work that we're doing as the district in collaboration with other organisations, I think that I'd love to see the industry become a bit more accessible, instead of it being so commercialised and so focused on how many likes and views and comments and reshares you get. It's more focused on, well, this person's got talent, this person's got something that's different and adverse to everything else that this person or that person's got, and more focusing on the next generation of artists and how to support them and what support networks we can put in place to ensure that not only the music scene continues to thrive, but other organisers, other promoters and artists who are coming up in the scene now get an opportunity from the work that we're doing, just like our predecessors, people who was working 10 to 20 years before us in the industry. They set the standard for how we're doing things, and it's just important that, I think, as we were saying earlier on, to continue that sort of pattern of behaviour, just to ensure that there is a music scene for the future generation, but also there's a city full of music scene for the generation. You know, making sure that we're keeping the venues that we've got, the grassroots venues, and, you know, making sure that we're supporting them. So not just there's a systematical thing in place for the next generation, but also a place for them to sort of function these sorts of events without having high budgets and worrying about so much of the implications of risk. Oh, most certainly. I've been running the district now for 5 years. We're coming up to the 5 years. 24th of February, be there. But throughout the 5 years, I've made bad choices within having a business partner who wasn't exactly on board with things. I've made bad choices in terms to running risks that were too high and not really thinking about the long-term effects of those situations. But I think ultimately that's a part of the process. You're never going to be able to do everything perfectly, and if you do everything perfectly, then you never learn, because it's the mistakes that you make along the way that make you a stronger and better person. And so I think throughout all of my pitfalls, throughout all of my mistakes, it's a very famous saying that I say quite a lot to my team, and I say a lot to my peers, is it doesn't matter how hard you fall, it's about how quickly you can get back up and how you get back up. That's the most important fundamental part. Yeah, most certainly. Obviously, we've got the District Sessions Series 2 coming. I'm not going to drop the date just yet, but if you stick tuned to our social medias and things like that, we're definitely going to have that coming up in mid-February sort of time. We've also got the 24th, which is our 5-year anniversary. We've been out here doing events now for 5 years, from the 21st of February. The event's on the 24th. And yeah, we've just got the Rusty Jux tour, and we've got a brand new event coming at some point within the next couple of months, catering to a completely different side of things. I'll keep that hush hush, but again, check the social medias at the district_hub for all the information on those sorts of bits and pieces. Yeah, well, obviously, District is a platform for artists and rappers, or anyone that's aspiring to sort of get into the performing arts. We do cater more so towards the hip hop side of things, because that is the origins of the District. But ultimately, within Bristol, I came here like 3 years ago, and I seen like Hip Hop Coffee Shop, and I seen like a couple other people like Word Life and Bits and Pieces, and it just felt like, for such a diverse and beautiful music scene, there's just everything was so far apart. Coming from the Brighton scene, for instance, you've always got something going on, whether it's one thing down here or one thing down there, whereas here in Bristol, everything just felt really disconnected. And so I brought the District back, and I rebranded it, and I built it around Bristol's needs, because I felt like there were so many artists out there that just wanted an opportunity, that just wanted to perform. Coming out of COVID, coming out of all the situations within the economy that we have, I felt like fundamentally it was quite important that we had that sort of the support service there for the artists, somewhere they can go and improve their skills, somewhere they can go to not only get on a stage in front of a group of people or an audience of people and show them what they've been feeling or show them what they've been writing, but also provide them with an opportunity that could sustain them in their own future. Having a performance and having a video from that performance that goes viral, or have an opportunity to go on a radio station and promote an event, or doing bits and pieces like that. And that's where I think we fit fundamentally within Bristol. There's lots of organisations, Caravan Collective, Word Life, UTU Collective as well, and they're all doing phenomenal work. But I think District fits in perfectly, because we bring something that the Bristol scene, I think, was missing. Coming from its origins in Brighton and how Brighton does things in terms of their events and the styles, aesthetics, I think bringing that here to Bristol fundamentally helped a lot of artists, and opened up and made it a lot more accessible to artists to be able to get on the stage and be able to perform. I'd say if you're not already involved in the Bristol music scene, and you're an artist or a musician and you're looking for an opportunity, you want to get known, you want to get experience, I'd say come to Bristol. There is hundreds of things popping off here. Whether you're a singer, whether you're a band player, whether you're an instrumentalist, whether you're a rapper, an MC, a DJ, there is hundreds of things that you could be possibly doing here. And with all the different new things that are coming up, the rise of UTU Collective, with the rise of the District, with Word Life, you'd be silly not to tap into this sort of industry here in Bristol. So I think ultimately, if you're not already working with the District, UTU, or any of these people, start working with them, because you'll find that we just want to support artists, we just want to provide you with opportunities, and that's all fundamentally we're about. We're not here to make millions and flash around our gold chains and buy a Bentley. That's not what we're about. It's about providing a service that was served to us, well, more so to myself when I was younger, and paying a homage to that community and giving those sort of opportunities to people who are in need of it. You know, I work with many people who have like substance abuse problems, or they come from a bad background, or they've been to jail, or in some sense, format or whatever, they've been stereotyped or put down by the system because they don't fit within this box. And I think fundamentally you have to put time and energy into people. You know, you have to think about people's perspectives and sometimes the things that they've been through, or listen to their music and have a feel, and I suppose put yourself in their sort of shoes. And so I think that's what District's all about. You know, it's about being there, it's about providing the support, it's about providing the opportunities, but also giving the audience a really good night on what is Bristol music, or what is hip hop in the UK, or what is upcoming in the local scene. And ultimately that's what we're all about. Yeah. You happy with that? Cool. Thanks.